I'm actually glad I get a chance to redeem myself for not calling the killers last time. It's fine.
Oh boy, we've got ourselves a plethora of Scream 7 rumors to talk a little bit about today, including some spicy plot details, more information on that secret unannounced cameo, and the fate of the MEEKS Martin twins. Ooh! Let's talk a little bit about it. Hey everybody, I'm Killjoy Jake, and instead of having friends, I have horror movies. If you're excited for Scream 7 just like me, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more horror movie updates just like this. Also, the best way to support this page is by becoming a Patreon supporter or channel member, where you'll get an extra bonus weekly review video. Members get to check out my review of Traumatica this Sunday. Thank you all for your support. Now let's get into the video. We are going to talk about a bunch of crazy rumors today, so before we dive into the Screamo, I want to put one big disclaimer out there to take this video with a grain of salt. Today's talking points come from third-party sources, except for one big thing at the end that came straight from the delicious lips of Matthew Lillard. And let me tell you, that fella's got a purty mouth. Kicking this off, we may have some new juicy info on the secret cameo that is yet to be announced in Scream 7, one of the bigger rumors floating around about the flick. We already know that Matthew Lillard, Scott Foley, David Arquette, and probably Skeet Ulrich are coming back, but there's allegedly one more character from the past that should be coming back to haunt this franchise yet again. So our friends on Twitter, Scream News and Jude Jarjora, say it's someone on the board from Scream 6 here, likely referring to another past Ghostface. This conversation gets a whole lot juicier, however, considering a new video that has surfaced online. On her horror page, Kerr Kills, comedian Kirsten Michelle reveals an interesting conversation that she had with some Paramount execs regarding the new Scream film. She talks about how they needed her Scream franchise knowledge for an upcoming show that plans to riff off of the franchise a little bit. During the meeting, one of the execs nearly revealed another Scream 7 cameo to her, but was swiftly stopped. Kerr's conspiracy theory, as she says, is that it's Drew Barrymore. She thinks that the show that she was brought in to essentially talk about was something relating to the Casey Becker actress. If this is the case, maybe Scream 7 is going to flash back all the way to the opening scene of the original Scream, seeing that famous opening from the perspective of our two killers, Billy and Stu. This could also explain why Roman is involved. As we learned in Scream 3, he was the one to put all of this into motion in the first place. That could be how we learned something new about that fateful night that we didn't know before. Maybe Stu's sister that we just learned about, Leslie Mocker, overheard some sort of conversation that maybe she shouldn't have. She's held on to this secret for years and it turned her into a killer. That's just a silly example though. Or is it? Drew Barrymore has already been involved with this new wave of Scream films, voicing the principal in Scream 5.
Attention Panthers! A reminder that all classes and school activities are canceled tomorrow.
So this wouldn't be totally out of left field for her to come back and reprise the role of Casey Becker. I'm pretty sure Drew has even said multiple times that she would love to return to the series in some sort of weird way. We also have some new plot details from insider Jude Jarjora, who is once again talking about an early Ghostface unmasking from a sharp-tongued survivor. I think he's clearly talking about Gale here, who's going to score an early Ghostface unmasking. Major W Gale. I did a whole video about this earlier in the week if you want to see me cover what I think Miss Weathers is going to be getting herself into this time around. Give it a watch! Jude also says that the new teen characters will first appear in front of Sydney's coffee shop. This is likely because Sydney's daughter Tatum is working there. Maybe they're there to meet up, link up. What are the kids saying nowadays? I don't know. I'm gonna be 27 in a week. I feel old. Something else that's interesting about this coffee shop scene is that we may be seeing our first red herring there. According to my buddy Critical Overlord, a scary looking character named Kyle will appear there and order some coffee. It's also interesting to note that this is a non-speaking supporting role, which is odd. Definitely something suspicious happening there.
Don't be suspicious, don't be suspicious.
Also, isn't it kind of sweet that Sydney named her daughter Tatum? You know, named after her best friend from high school, who died after her neck hilariously snapped in that garage door. That scene is so funny, man. They use this cartoonish sound effect that makes me laugh every single time. Speaking of Tatum 2.0, her introductory scene here features a bit of friction between her and her mother. I've been speculating for a long time now that Scream 7 was going to focus a lot on Sydney and Tatum's relationship. It sounds like we're getting that typical plot line where a teenager character is like, "Mom, I want to go out to the party on Friday night. Darren's gonna be there." And her mom is all like, "Don't do that. It's a dumb idea. You're staying in." And then she goes out anyways, you know, as teenagers do. Will this lead to Ghostface chasing after her and potentially getting a little shtick stabby stabby. This is a Drew Barrymore knife. Everything in this apartment is Scream. Finally, Gail, Chad, and Mindy are all staying at Sid's house while in town. Is Gail the reason that Chad and Mindy are in this flick in the first place? I don't know. Speaking of the twins, however, they might be in peril in this new installment, as we just got a new scoop from Scream News. According to them, Chad and Mindy are part of a big, intense sequence, while Gail and Sydney are working on trapping Ghostface. Circling back to that first point, this sounds like how Gail is going to be able to unmask a Ghostface, which is no easy task. I mean, this is something that has technically never happened before in the franchise. One of the survivors taking off the Ghostface mask, unveiling one of the killers before we even get to the third act. This could make for an entirely fresh formula for the back half of the film too, with the remainder of the Ghostfaces scrambling as their original plan was totally thwarted. With the way this scoop is worded, however, it does make me worry that maybe one of the twins is gonna bite it here. It certainly won't be Chad though. It's already been confirmed that he's coming back as a cyborg. Pincushion 9000. I kid, of course. Seriously though, I do hope we get the emotional death of some survivor here. I hate to agree with Amber of all characters, but killing someone who's survived before in the past makes a new installment very significant and, well, has stakes. Whether that's Gail, Chad, Mindy, and not Sydney, I'm excited to see it. Finally, we have an update from the wet, slick tongue of Matthew Lillard. During a panel at Silver Screen Con, the Stu Macher actor talked a little bit about his involvement in the new installment. After recounting the story of how Kevin Williamson personally called him up and asked him to return for the new film, he goes on to say this.
It's not gonna ruin the franchise. That's the good news. I don't think.
Now, I don't want to sound like a negative Nancy Loomis here. I definitely do not want to sound that way, but it always worries me a little bit when you have people who are working on an upcoming film already defending it before it comes out. It's a little pet peeve of mine that I've picked up after covering movies like Halloween Ends and The Strangers Chapter 1. I look at something like this as a massive warning sign for any project. If the movie rocks, why do you feel the need to defend it before it's even released? This is not the first time that we've heard Lillard say something like this about the upcoming installment, but I'm gonna argue here that this is all just one big outlier. I think where all of this comes from is Matthew nonstop hearing Stu is alive theories from fans. I think he's worried that some fans think that they're going to illogically bring him back alive in the franchise after his death. His death in Scream 1. I won't go on the whole tirade again, but if this movie is more focused on bringing back dead characters rather than telling an effective murder mystery in a meta slasher film, my interest is going to fade fast. I'd rather get an actual Scream movie opposed to whatever that kind of corporate slop would end up being. Sorry, not sorry. How do you guys feel about Scream 7, however? Which rumor or update was your favorite from today's video? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you all for watching, please subscribe, and as always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all.